Good evening and welcome. I'd like to call the Dearborn Public School Board of Education July 14th, 2014 meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Adams? Here. Trustee Guido is absent. Trustee Lane? Here. Trustee McDonald?
Here.
Trustee Shell is here. Trustee Schoolmaster?
Here.
President Barry?
Here. Next item, please.
President Barry will lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item, please.
Superintendent update, sorry, I got a little ahead of myself.
Just very quickly, as you see on the agenda tonight, we are moving to the NWEA testing and away from STAR Math and SRI. I had a team of administrators, teachers, testing experts come together and form a committee and look at our testing from A to Z in every grade, what we were testing, how we were testing, and the length of testing, and ask them to come up with a new game plan that reduces the amount of testing we do, but still gives us a great information, knowledge base on how students are performing. So that committee came back with the recommendations that I have shared with the board, with the main theme being NWEA as our testing mechanism, replacing STAR Math and SRI. Secondly, you'll see in tonight's board agenda that we're asking for schools of choice for 3 kindergarten positions at Long. This is so that we can meet the best practices of the legislature and get the $50 per student. It's one of the things that we need to do. So both those items are on the agenda. No other items to report on.
Okay, thank you. Next item, please.
Citizen participation. Citizens wishing to address the board on an agenda or non-agenda items for action who are signed in by 7:10 by submitting a blue card to the secretary may speak at this time. I have no blue cards.
Next item.
Approval of minutes. Approval of the minutes of the following Dearborn Board of Education meetings: executive session, closed personnel, June 23rd, 2014, Board Report 14-01, regular P12 meeting, June 23rd, 2014, Board Report 14-02. Make any necessary corrections and move approval of these minutes.
So moved.
Support?
For the motion, support. Are there any corrections, objections, questions? By hearing none, then the motion carries. Thank you. Next item, please.
Recognition and acknowledgements, commendations.
No district accommodations. I don't know if the board has any you want to report on.
Next item.
Acknowledgement of donations.
We have one, a donation of hamburgers and hot dogs, but was offered to Dearborn Public Schools by Jerusalem Foods, also known as World Pure Foods, the halal meat provider for the districts, which were served at our district end of the year administrative luncheon. So we thank them for that donation, and no other.
No other. Next item.
Special reports, My Learning Plan, Mr. Brian Whiston, Dr. Jill Chokel.
Yes, my learning plan is our goal, as Dr. Chokel is coming up, is really to engage our learners as part of the process, making students have more responsibility for what they're learning and how, and encourage increased engagement by our students. And really also tapping into areas that excite students, so that we know about that and can use that in our lesson planning. Some examples are, Maples, we're having students last year track their test scores in reading and math, setting out where they were at, what their goal was, and how they were progressing, and it really engaged the parents and students in the process. Another way, you'll see some other examples here now. Another way in high school, if a student doesn't want to take a class first hour, their learning plan could be for them to take a dual enrollment class, a class online, or some other opportunity. So really, we're trying to engage students at all levels, K through 12, and have them play more of an important role in the learning that's taking place. And then now Dr. Chokel has a report.
Hey, good evening. There is a very short PowerPoint in front of you, and I have the same presentation on the screen here. As Mr. Winston indicated, the whole goal of My Learning Plan is to do what good teachers have been doing for many, many years, which is to connect students to the goals, the objectives, the standards in the curriculum in meaningful ways and to motivate them to do their best in all that they try. So that the steps in the specific learning plan could differ school by school. But the idea is that the teachers engage with the students and they determine with students what their interests are, and that begins as soon as students begin school, because in kindergartners are interested in specific things, and they might not articulate it as well as perhaps a 15 or 16-year-old. But the idea is that then the teacher targets the curriculum and some of the choices in terms of literature and materials to what the student is interested in. So if our young people are interested in cars or animals or dinosaurs, as some of the elementary students are, teachers can help the students select literature that keys into that interest. Correspondingly, when the students are older and young adults, being able to articulate those goals to a teacher and to be able to be directed to an academic plan that helps to meet their needs, hopefully will engage and connect them even more meaningfully to their academic career. So the benefits to students certainly are many. A few of them are listed there, but the whole goal is to connect them in meaningful ways to school, to continue to help them look forward to coming to school, and to improve their attendance and ultimately graduate on time, career, and college ready. Benefits for teachers are the relationships that will be strengthened between teachers and students, as well as those partnerships that will result when students are working together, either in collaborative groups or on a whole class project, depending again on what the goals were. So the higher motivation, the deeper engagement will result in higher effort made by students of all ages, which then results in better progress for students. So teachers are happy, parents are happy, and kids look forward to coming to school. So each Dearborn school, in terms of their staff, got together and decided what the process would be to develop the concept of My Learning Plan on their school campus, because what may work for one school and one campus might not be as successful as something that's developed by another school. So the administrators were engaged in this process, teachers, and then parents at the schools were all asked for what it is they would like to see as far as further action in terms of My Learning Plan. So this conversation has occupied administrators and teachers for the past couple of months, and you have examples of some of the different learning plans. One is the elementary example that was shared by Nowlin Elementary, and then the secondary example is the Bryant Middle School brochure, which illustrates the slightly different ways that those school campuses are choosing to not only outline for parents what it is that's going on in school in terms of enrichment courses or classes, but also to connect to those student goals. And you can see that while there are some similarities, there are also some differences. So every school will come up with their own individualized implementation plan in some way, shape, or form, and then teachers and students will have those conversations throughout the year. So we're at the beginning of a pretty exciting journey, and our thanks to Superintendent Whiston for encouraging us and motivating us to move on this and engage in the dialogue, because this certainly encompasses all best practice, not only for students and teachers, but certainly for families as well.
Questions?
It says that this is reviewed yearly, annually,
Well, at the beginning of the year, the goal is to have a teacher work with a student, engage in a dialogue with a student to help them identify their interests, their goals, what projects they want to work on, what courses they might want to take. For high school students, it might be what, do they want to take some college classes? Are they interested in, STEM-based types of things? And then to document that in some way, and then to engage with the students on a very regular basis. We have, at the elementary level, teachers meeting with students every week. At the secondary level, that might be, a conversation once a month or so, in order to ask students how they're progressing, towards their plan. Certainly when test data comes out, those performance measures factor into their progress in school as a whole, and so the conversation with the students about that certainly is more meaningful.
so they can amend it and change it and
Absolutely.
add to as you go along. Good,
Yeah.
that's what I was
Very
curious
flexible.
about. I think it's a great idea. Kind of gives them something to focus on.
Right.
Great.
Ms. McDonald?
When the individual buildings are given their chance to set what they're going to do. How much in the way of parameters does the district set on them? Very little? Are they?
We set very little parameters because it's funny, at first, a lot of people wanted us to come up with a form and tell them what to do. And we're saying, no, that takes the creativity out of it. We really want this to be driven by the teachers and by the parents and the students. So we don't, forms are fine, but we're not going to create a form and tell you this is it. We want you to use the creativity and knowledge of the teacher working with the students to come up with something. And this is step one. It's certainly going to be a several-year process to get where we want to go, but no, we didn't put parameters because we want this to be totally driven by the student and the teacher. And ultimately, we believe this is going to be less work for the teachers by having students and parents take more ownership in what's going on in their educational plan.
And when they take ownership, they take ownership.
Right.
And it's actually a plan that they will keep in mind. I think it's outstanding.
And connecting then with parents
Right.
and including them in the process. Certainly parents, when children come to school in kindergarten, know their children, much more at a deeper level than the teacher does, and working with the teacher to identify what interests, 5 and 6-year-olds have and how to best engage them in the school process. And in a way that's meaningful and authentic is the goal.
Very good.
Thank you
Great,
very
thank
much.
you.
Next item, please, next report.
Response to bullying, Mr. Brian Whiston, Dr. Gail Schenkman.
Now, Barry's going to come up and give us some exciting news about, I think this is the third year that the board has engaged this as one of the district goals. Again, this came from the Board of Education saying they wanted to address this issue, and I think you're going to see some good progress being made.
Good evening, everyone. In front of you, you have a PowerPoint
Yep.
for our Dearborn's response to bullying and behavior. It's the 2013-2014 annual report. We're going to start with the goal. The goal is to reduce bullying behavior in our schools and community. It's an in-service to all Dearborn staff. It's to teach our children. It's to provide awareness. It's to provide information to parents with an approachable message and a positive message. It's a measurable result, and it creates up standards. Bullying behavior, it involves an aggressive behavior, typically involves a pattern of behavior repeated over time, and it involves an imbalance of power or strength. As adults, we can respond to bullying by counseling aggressive students, support students who are targeted, activating bystanders to become upstanders. Roles: the bully, the victim or the target, the bystander, and the upstander. Our board policy: each year we will survey students, staff, and parents. We will in-service our staff. Schools will hold 3 events each year: track incidents of bullying behavior, establish committees, teach the curriculum, provide parents with information, and provide a report to the board. In the last school year, this is a survey that we give each in the fall of each year, and we track bullying this way. Each school is given has to track their students, and it's a website that they go on, and this is how we track them in the fall of each year. And they were asked questions, and these are some of the questions that they were asked. One of them is, in the last school year, were you ever bullied? You can look from 2011, 2012, and 2013. I'll give you a minute to look at the elementary, middle school, and high school results per year, and you can see that there's a decline. So we're proud of that. From 2012 to 2013, we went from 39% to 30% in the elementary alone, from 35% to 19% in the middle school, and from 19% to 17% in the high school. The next question is, did you see other students being bullied at school last year? Yes or no? Again, in the elementary, you can see the results, and there's a decline in each year. Did you see other students being bullied at school last year? In the middle school as well, there was a decline each year. Did you see other students being bullied at school last year? In high school as well, there was a decline. We asked the question, did you miss any school last year because of bullying? This was one of our truancy results. In middle school, you'll notice that there was a decline from 2012 to 2013. Also in high school, there was a decline from 2012 to 2013. The next question was an important one. Do you feel safe at school? Students reporting yes. In the elementary, we had 92% this year reporting yes, 87% in the middle school reporting yes, and 80% in the high school reporting yes. What do we teach? Or what do? We intervene. We teach and we create an environment where all students and adults respond to bullying and behavior in a positive way. We never, ever respond in a negative way. We track and use the data to identify patterns of bullying and behavior. The tracking data, staff may enter the data directly, and then this is the website we enter it into. It's bullytracking.dearbornschools.org. Schools may collect paper reports for their own convenience where they can look at it and identify. In elementary, this is how we got the reports. We got them off that website. So for elementary in 2013, 2014, you can see the decline of only 287 incidents.
Huge.
In middle school, you can see a huge decline of only 112 incidents.
Good one.
And in high school, 57 incidents. Now, these are only behavioral incidents. These are
Oh, very good.
Are these a self-report, or these
These are off the tracking. Yep.
Our staff.
And these are
Parent,
only
staff
behavioral
reporting.
incidents, so I want to make sure you understand.
Yeah.
On the back, you'll see our goal for 2014 and 2015 is to have a kickoff event. We're initiating restorative practices. For those of you who don't know, restorative practices is a new thing. Is going to be one of our big push this year. Abe Masher is going to head our restorative practices initiative this year. I'm on that committee as well, and we're pushing to make positive approaches and alternatives to suspension. So it's going to be really huge this year, and we're going to include response to bullying and behavior as part of that goal. You'll learn more about the program, Response to Bullying and Behavior, as part of a blended program. And I'll talk more about that in a minute, but we're going to have more emphasis on, during professional development, on helping the staff respond. Our professional development this year is going to be more of cyber-based, and what we're going to do is the staff will be, instead of, like we do cyber, bloodborne pathogen? Yeah, they watch it video online. So that's what our bullying and behavior professional development is going to be this year. And Majid Fadlallah and I are working on that. And the staff will have to answer questions. Now, this is only for staff who are already on our, who are already staff right now. This is not for new staff. New staff will have a face-to-face professional development opportunity. We're moving the curriculum to DEC, which is Dearborn Educational Curriculum, and it's an online curriculum. And we're going to have an emphasis on tracking, and then we're going to have the blended program initiative, where we're going to combine response to bullying, not combine it, but we're going to kind of blend it with our response to intervention programs. Since we already have a curriculum for response to bullying with, as you know, Dearborn Public Schools has a response to intervention program, and we also have a PBIS program. And we work in correlation with Wayne County RISA and Chris McAvoy. So what we're trying to do now is combine the programs together to make it a positive effort. And this way, we already have a curriculum in place. So what we're going to do is try to combine the two of them together and then build a more positive approach. It sends a more approachable message to staff and parents. Any questions?
You know, I think that the most powerful statement with this program is when you hear elementary kids recognizing what bullying behavior is. And when they don't say, you know, you're a bully, they say that's bullying behavior. You know, so obviously the message is getting across. I'm shocked that the numbers have gone down as much as they have. Not because I don't think we're doing anything about it, but because I think that every year kids become more and more aware of what is bullying and what isn't bullying. And so it's hard to recognize something, to report something if you don't know what it is. And so I assume that the more aware the students would be, that the more reports we would have. But obviously, the more aware the students have become, they've kind of started policing themselves and you know, causing students to maybe second guess what they're getting ready to do. So I think it's great. I think that it's
In this report, that's what caught my attention. At the elementary level, do you see other students being bullied at school? 50% turnaround.
yeah,
They feel safe at school.
yeah.
Yeah. Trustee
I really
Lane?
have to say that I'm sorry. I really have to say that the schools, you know, kudos to the schools because they're really putting emphasis on response to bullying and behavior, positive initiatives. They're having assemblies, and they're really bringing in community organizations. They're bringing in police departments, and they're bringing in community organizations to really bring awareness to this. And, you know, they've invited me to go, which is really nice because I've gone to many of them. And it's really, really a positive effort. And when the students see this, and then they invite the parents and educate the parents as well. So together, I mean, I think this is what's bringing our numbers down as well. So I think together it's really helping. It's making a big effort.
Trustee Lane? Your question?
I was just going to also congratulate the people who are working on it. In any aspect, we all need to be working on this in our own personal lives and our own personal comportment. I think, as a matter of fact, that actually schools are a better place than our society in general, and the message needs to go from the schools outside. So whatever we can do to advance this cause, any kind of intimidation, bullying, and attempts to affect your own design by violence of any kind, either verbal, psychological, or definitely by physical violence, that needs to get out that message to the larger society. And I'm really proud that Dearborn Schools is making such a good adjustment here, so.
That's what I'm hearing, that we're getting the
Yeah.
parents involved, but we also have some partners in our city, too. This,
Yeah.
City administration and
great.
police department, so
Great,
the
important work.
message is going outward,
Yeah.
too.
Very
Trustee
good.
McDonald?
I just want to say I'm very pleased to see initiating restorative practice. I think that's important, and I'm glad to see that we're moving in that direction. But I also just have to say, as far as the community goes, I walked into my AAA office last Friday because I had some business to take care of, and on the wall there, they had Upstander Man, the poster. And when you see those in communities and the businesses in our neighborhood, I just think it sends such a positive message. So anytime you go to any function, you bring the business a poster, you know, we've got to get that out there. I know we
Yeah,
still have
I
posters
agree.
left,
Yeah.
but it really sends a great message.
And let's remember, the message isn't only for children, it's for
Yes.
adults. It's for
Absolutely.
adults as well. We all
Absolutely.
have to take it to heart.
That's why I love to see it in a business like
And
AAA.
we are going to emphasize on cyberbullying this year because it's
Good.
becoming a big issue. So, yeah. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item is action items. Any special consideration of an action item? Are there any agenda items on this agenda which board members or the superintendent wish to discuss and vote on separately? I believe that we need to vote on number, I think I pulled 13. Do we need a roll call on that
Yeah,
for the millage renewal?
yeah.
I'm not sure
That
if
would
we
be good
need
to
one,
do.
but it would
Let's do
probably be
anyways.
good to
Let's
have
do it anyways.
a roll call on that.
13. Any others?
Number 13.
13 is it?
Number 18, I just want to make a statement after the motion's on the floor.
Okay.
Okay.
Since we're just filling a little time here, can I just insert in regards to number 13, I'm sure Superintendent Whiston will reiterate and the campaign during the fall, that this is a renewal only. It's not an increase. It's only to renew the millage that we already have, and it's to continue
the work that we're doing. It's not anything else,
That's the one in
correct,
the
Superintendent?
It's a renewal of the 2 millages. It's not a tax increase. It's
Right.
millage renewal only, and it's on the November ballot.
And it's only to support the work that we're doing, the fine work that we're doing right
Right,
now.
It's 40 million out of our $180-some million budget.
Huge impact if it doesn't pass.
Let's put the motion on the table, please.
Move that action items numbered 1 through 19 be approved as recommended in this agenda, with the exception of number 13.
So moved.
Support?
We have a motion support. I just was going to ask, I didn't want to pull, but I wanted clarification on number 4.
Mr. Barner, could you come forward on bid item number 4?
You see the bids here. Yes. And I did get a clarification, but I want it to be clarified on the record. Sure. It says it is recommended that an award be made to Adams Meat Market for the estimated annual amount of $95,000 and
I saw
Jerusalem.
that too.
That's correct. Two different suppliers.
Clarify that, please.
Yeah, actually, I'm actually emailing Jeff as we speak right now to ask him why we selected 2 in particular. I wasn't able
I
to see
could
the
probably
bid.
tell you.
I'm sorry?
It's because not one of them doesn't have all the products.
And that could very
That's
well
where we
be,
had the
but I
problem
want
with in the
I
past.
want verification.
So there are specific products that can be ordered from one, and if they're missing one, we have to have 2 bidders.
Sure.
Well, would it be the full amount for both of them?
Yeah, because normally I think it's closer to 250,000 that the
That's what
total
caught my
budget.
attention, usually the budget for that
Yeah.
amount.
But I will validate that when I hear back from
Okay, so
Jeff.
it's already split itself, yeah.
It sounds
Gotcha.
like it, but I just wanted
Looks
to
like
be
it.
be clear.
Sure,
because
just
it
to be
looks like
clear,
it.
yeah.
And that,
When
as Amy said, that's been the issue in the past.
Sure.
But we'll verify. and get
Yeah,
back.
and I'll let you know. I can come back up here and let you know after the fact, but we should be, have that to answer shortly.
Okay, great,
So,
thank you. And there was another one you wanted to comment on?
Yes, number 18.
18?
We had
That's
a
hers.
policy meeting, a policy committee meeting just prior to this meeting, to discuss 2 students that should have graduated, one in June and one that is going to be graduating after successful completion of summer school. There was a technicality with their MME testing, and because of that glitch, they weren't able they didn't meet the graduation requirements, and so they needed a special exception. The policy committee has reviewed it, we are in agreement with it, and so we ask for your support on this motion.
Great, thank you. So we have a motion, support. Is there other discussions? Any objections?
No objection.
Motion carries. Call through the summaries, please.
Summary. Number 1, approval of warrants, which are items for payment by the district and have been reviewed by the administration. Number 2, approval of scholastic reading inventory and elementary common assessment licensing and professional development. Number 3, approval of explore and plan tests reports. Number 4, approval of miscellaneous halal meat products. Number 5, approval of new serving line at Nowlin Elementary School. Number 6, approval of classroom furniture and furnishings at Dearborn Heights campus. Number 7, approval of in-service training for staff for the ACE Scholarship Program. Number 8, approval of the contract changes for bond projects, 9 through 12. Approval of non-instructional and instructional personnel items for P12. Number 14, approval of contract for non-classified, non-instructional staff at P12. Number 15, approval of the contract of exempt administrator staff at P12. Number 16, approval of recognition of the 2014 high school graduates. Congratulations. Number 17, approval of the school of choice for limited enrollment of 3 non-resident students with Wayne County Intermediate School District area for kindergarten at Long Elementary School. Number 18, approval of high school students requiring board review to graduate. And number 19, approval of donation.
Thank you. And when you catch your breath, let's return to 15.
You ever thought of doing auctions?
I have an answer for you, actually.
Trying to get out of
Yes,
here,
please.
people, just trying to get out of here.
We're back to number 4 here.
Yes, Jeff was able to cherry pick the products, so he took the best price from each of the corporations that submitted.
Okay, excellent.
And so they each had all of the products, though. I did ask them that question specifically, and they did. So it was, again, just cherry
Oh,
picking
so
for
that's
best
excellent,
price.
even
That's
better.
progress.
And I remember from the last contract we awarded Jerusalem, they weren't able to do the whole thing. I kind of had a good idea, but
Sure.
it's on the record now.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Let's
Through
go
the
back to-
miracle of technology, huh?
Yeah?
Well, it means you have to be competitive all around.
That's right.
Well, it's good to be.
Number 13, approval of millage renewal and date for election, board report 14-09. Do you want me to read the background information?
I don't think it's necessary.
Okay. Recommended action, move that the board approve the millage renewal of the 2000, or of the hold harmless funding. Further, the board approves a fall November 2014 timeframe for the hold harmless election.
So moved.
Support.
We had motion support, we had a little discussion. Is there anything else anybody wanted to cover?
Just that it's not a tax
Renewal.
increase, that's
It's
the
a
renewal.
Please.
Well, as we've all said, it's a renewal, it's not a tax increase, and I guess sometimes you need to have something that's not evident pointed out to you. And I would just say, we have chosen as a board to do this in November. I hope that the voters will take attention to that. There were other election dates that we could have chosen, but in Dearborn, we've always done things in, we've respected we haven't tried to get around our voters. And we've put things on when normally elections are held. This is being held in November because we have faith that our electorate will see the value of Dearborn Public Schools and of renewing this. So I just want people to know that, it could have been put on some other time, but we chose not to do that, and we hope that we're being straight above board about everything, and hope that they will reward Dearborn students and themselves as taxpayers by maintaining the really terrific quality of schools that we have here. So,
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Adams?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
yes.
Trustee McDonald?
Yes.
Trustee Shellis, yes. Trustee Schoolmaster?
Yes.
President Barry?
Yes. Next item, and we do have a supplement for item
Yes,
number
I'm
8.
sorry, I meant to say that. Next item, discussion items, we have none.
We have the supplement,
Oh,
and
that's
that's
the
the board
board meeting
meeting
dates.
dates.
That's a supplement.
Oh,
So the discussion item
Oh, I
is
see
the
it now.
board had talked about going to one board meeting a month for the P12, and so we just wanted to continue that discussion to see if there's
we
any
all
interest.
want to continue that discussion.
Yeah,
Although I'm sure that some of us are ready to vote on that.
well, we'll bring it
Discussion.
forward, next board meeting for your vote, but we just want to, continue the discussion, and as you said, you wanted to hear from the public, so this just gives us another opportunity to mention we're looking at doing that, and to get comments to board members or myself.
Can we draw up a potential schedule?
Yep.
Maybe look at some, because right now we have the K-12 on the 2nd and 4th and the college on the 3rd. And I know that there's, in January, it always causes a problem. And is it May that it caused, no, it's not May.
April.
April.
April is usually an
April that
issue.
causes a problem, so perhaps we could look at, if we were to go to 2 board meetings, we should be able to not have Tuesday meetings.
Yep.
We should be able to work around that, so.
I'd like to reiterate also for the people that watch that we would have just as many board reports, but they would be online. They'd be watchable online. We would still give as much information as possible to our constituents, hopefully through David Mustonen and through our Channel 19. So they wouldn't be cheated either.
I don't think they're being cheated anyways, because most school boards only meet once a month.
Absolutely not.
They've just been over-supplied with board
They have been.
meetings for the
Well,
last
they've been
20
over-
years.
They've been supplied with board information. Many people appreciate
Yeah.
it, and they would continue to be supplied
still
with the
get it,
same type
yes.
of information.
Correct.
It's just
in
that
a
they wouldn't
condensed
get to
format.
watch us nearly as much. And we can send them pictures or whatever. they like.
Or not.
Or not, yes.
There'll probably be heavy demand for that.
The target practice.
All right.
Okay, moving
Anything else
on,
the
please.
discussion? Let's move on.
Can I just have,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
just, I would suggest you kind of pilot it for a year and see how it goes.
Yeah, it can always be changed.
Yeah, yeah, that leave it open-ended if it becomes an issue for any
Or
reason.
we could even do it for 6 months,
Yeah,
do the
well,
first
you could
6
do it
months
for a
of the
whole school
calendar,
year,
the whole school
but-
year.
I do see some issues that might come up. Timing is the main thing. That,
Finance
yeah,
particularly.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking like April is gonna maybe an issue because of, that's when our isn't our budget due in April? Or is that June?
It's got to be
Yeah,
approved
it's
by the
gotta
end
be
of
approved.
Yeah,
June.
it's got to be
Okay.
presented in April, voted on in May for implementation.
And maybe we can look at some of those issues and
Yeah,
schedule
that's
2
all
board
I'm
meetings in
thinking,
the
yeah.
months that we think there
I
are
mean-
going to be, that we have potential to have
Yeah.
issues. That's a good point.
Don't mean to be a devil's advocate,
No,
but,
no, no,
you know,
that's why we're having this
some
discussion.
things can't wait a month
Right.
to be approved. So just leave yourself some open-ended options there.
April and budget deadlines.
Yep.
Can I ask a question?
Maybe one in the fall as well.
In the past, when we've had special meetings or board study sessions, we didn't have them televised. And I think that
Right.
one of the concerns, I mean, to me, I look at it as, okay, if we need to call an extra school board meeting, then we could just call an extra school board meeting, that it wouldn't have to be planned per se. But the problem with that is that we don't have them live or on tape.
We can, though, if we
So
plan.
if we, if we schedule one board meeting a month, if we have to have a special session to deal with an emergency or something that comes up, what is the protocol, or how difficult is it for us to have those presented live or at least recorded in video format?
Yep. Not
For
not an issue.
posterity.
As long as we meet here, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
And, so
I
you're
would
right,
suggest-
sometimes
I
we
would
had
suggest
emergency meetings that
that-
lasted 5-10 minutes. that
Yeah.
I just didn't think it was worth taping, but we
No,
can tape
but we-
every meeting.
But if we're gonna go to one meeting a month, then I think even if it's a 5-10 minute meeting, just to
Yep.
vote on an expense that we had to, pay
Yeah,
for
we did that
payables, I
one
think
time.
that it's important that we do, because, just like in the newspaper article today about U of M, it doesn't matter if you're doing something wrong or not, it's if you look like you're doing something wrong. And I don't think that our intention of cutting down these meetings is to hide things from the public, but rather to engage the public more. That's one of the things that I've heard from people who were considering running for school board is, well, that's a big commitment,
And it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are meeting quite a bit between this and the college, no question.
Okay. Thank you. Next item, please.
Acknowledgement of correspondence.
I don't think I've received any.
I have not received anything.
Okay. Next item.
Board of Education business, board member committee and organization reports. The policy committee has already reported.
Okay. There's no others. Next item, please.
Board member commentary.
Trustee Lane.
I had an email today, and I did forward it on to Superintendent Whiston, just about a summer program, a summer learning academy for students, primarily lower-level students, first to third, fifth, and sixth. So I would just like to note that if there are parents that want...
Not fourth graders?
Pardon?
Not
Not
fourth
fourth
graders?
graders. It must be that fourth grade is filled, I guess. But it's through Access, and it's at Salina School. They do have very few openings, but if there are parents who want to supplement their children's learning, it's a great opportunity. There is a fee for it, but there's a good student-teacher level, and it's run pretty much like a normal school
Yeah,
day,
we work very closely
9
with
to
Access
3,
on
and
these programs,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So there's lots of different things that are offered. So if there are parents that need some kind of, if they had something fall through or whatever, or they want to supplement their kids' learning, lots of different things. So there is an Access Summer Academy, and that will start August 4th through the 21st. And registration, Dearborn schools, of course, could give information or access. So just want to make a note if anybody needs that.
Okay, thank you. I have a comment myself, and I feel obligated.
I'm
to
sorry, we don't
comment
have
on-
time for your comments.
It's going to be a long one. In the Arab American News, July 3rd, 2014, article, Councilman Mike Serini. First I read this, and I got a little angry, but then I read it again. I thought it was a little amusing, to be honest with you. And I did try to reach out to Mr. Councilman Serini, and I will try to get a hold of him afterwards, let him know that I made a comment to his, he did mention the school board, so I feel obligated to comment. His comment says, the city council asked the school board to move its offices into the city's new administrative center, but the board showed no interest. We did not receive anything from the city council. We did receive something from the mayor, which we responded to. And in here, it does say that, I'm trying to keep this clean.
Well, you
that,
can't take somebody's quote out of context.
What's
It's
that?
probably best just to read the quote.
The people who sit on the board also sit on the Henry Ford College Board, Sereni said. They said if they are going to move anywhere, they'll move to the college. They have 6-year terms. That is too long. You get stagnations. The problem is that the term for the college trustees is 6 years. There should be 2 separate boards. And the people on the school board should get 2-year terms so we can turn the schools around. Logistically, it is better for them to move to HFC, which makes sense. A couple of things here. We're not moving anywhere. The central office is here at 10 Ike. We did make a statement that if we ever decided to move, we have options. And the other thing is, not everybody is quick as Councilman Sereni. He's 6 months on the council, and he's already solved all the issues there. He wants to move over to the school board. I take it personal here when somebody says, 6 years is too long, you get stagnations. Trustee McDonald and myself are, the rookies still on this board, but we have some great board members that have been serving our city for 14 to 22, 23 years. That's wrong. I mean, if he's speaking as a parent, he has his right to say whatever he wants, but I don't think should be speaking as a council person or on behalf of the council. I just felt obligated to respond to that. Councilman Sereni ran as an independent thinker, and if you're an independent thinker, you should go to the source before you start making comments like that. We have a great gem in our city, and it's called Henry Ford College now. Started out as Forts and Community College. There is so much, because it did say in here that we should separate. There's so many programs that we have together between Henry Ford College and Dearborn Public Schools that our students benefit, our parents benefit, and both the college and Dearborn Public Schools benefit. So I do welcome Councilman Sereni to reach out to myself or any other board member. If he needs any information, we will be happy to provide it to him. Thank you
May I
very much.
comment on your comment? It looks like Trustee Shellis wanted to also.
You go right ahead.
Well, I normally do read the American News. I'm so sorry I missed that because it's really woken me up tonight right now. I mean, I was getting ready to leave, but I just have to comment on your comment. Perhaps, everybody correct me, but didn't we change the school board terms from 4 years to 6 years by force from the state
Absolutely.
legislature of Michigan? I don't remember any of us looking for longer terms. And maybe he thinks it's a good idea for me or whomever to have a 2-year term. Unfortunately, he's ill-informed as to our terms. Our terms were set by the state legislature, not by ourselves. So it would be better advised for Mr. Sereni or anyone else to check the facts before they comment on them. And that's only getting started on other things. I mean, I'm sure, I don't want to curtail anyone else, but there's a few other misstatements in there as well.
I didn't take that as a personal attack. I'm just welcoming him. If he wants facts, like you just stated, doors are open, 313-58. I think my phone number is on the front page of the paper, so. Trustee Shellis?
As far as the comments regarding our stagnant board, I will set that aside.
Thank you.
What I'm most disappointed with is that our city leaders are making misstatements about our schools. We have worked very, very hard. I know I've been on the board for 14 years, which is more than one election, and apparently I'm not stagnant, otherwise I probably would not have been reelected. However, setting that aside, I think that the district has worked really hard, and this board has worked really hard, and for an elected member of our city to make a statement that sounds like there's something wrong with our schools is doing a disservice to the entire community. We're all on the same team here. We're all in it for the city of Dearborn, and we don't badmouth the city and their financial difficulties with sticking to budgets for construction projects, closing pools, libraries. I don't think that there has been a board member in the 14 years that I've been on here that has critiqued the city council on what their job is, and to have a new council member come forward and say something without ever picking up the phone and talking to any of us about it or finding out what's going on, to just assume that there are such bad problems in our district. I challenge anyone to find another district in the state of Michigan that doesn't have wide-ranging open enrollment, that has had the enrollment increases that our district has had. You know, it's incredible when you think about the number of students, the number of families that move into this district, and they're moving here because of the schools. We've gone from, when I was first elected on the board, I think we were the 12th largest district in the state, and now we're the 3rd largest district in the state. And that's because of 2 factors. Other districts are declining, and we're increasing. And that says a lot about our schools. Do we have problems? Absolutely. I think every institution does. But for a member of the city council to insist that we need to change the board so that we can clean up the schools, that's doing us all a disservice. And I think that in the future, perhaps they need to think about the words that they say before they say them, because it isn't helping their cause either.
Trustee McDonald?
I just want to say, and we have some really exciting and innovative initiatives coming up, and we are the leader in the state and across the country in a lot of areas, and that's been proven. We hear about it all the time, different places we go. People are envious and looking to us to be leaders and want to know what we've done, how we got where we are. And so I'm a little disheartened by the statement myself.
Trustee Lane?
Since we're getting warmed up on it, I could go on for a while. I hear from friends across the country, my sister attends bilingual conferences, but how Dearborn is presenting, and I know for a fact that many of us have not only attended, but presented at national and state conferences on education, and our superintendent as well. So what we've said is absolutely true, but furthermore, to use the word to turn around our schools, to turn around what exactly? Our increasing test scores, our increased graduation rate, our innovative programs, our increased enrollment. What exactly does...
Five-year plan?
Or the fact that we were named one of the
college,
15th best schools
one
in
of
the
the
state.
academic champions in the state. What exactly did he want to turn around? But yeah, that is...
And again,
That's very
here's a
ill-informed.
chance
Yeah.
for a new public servant. If he wants information, we all welcome it.
Well,
We
you
all
know
welcome
what?
his questions.
And there's a lot we could discuss also,
can.
but at the time that we initially had an overture for capacity and a change of administration buildings, we were sitting on excess capacity, and it's certain of our schools. That's always been our problem. It's a mismatch between facilities and students. So it would be financially unsound for us to get into a venture where we get capacity where we don't need it. So we have a building right here. We have other buildings, and for us to do that, we only would undertake that under the most serious study.
Well,
Not-
and unfortunately, if we don't stick to our budgets, we can't just go to the public and have a millage.
Exactly.
We are
Yes.
required to stick within our budgets. We're not
Right.
allowed to go over budget on building, we're not allowed to go over budget on new projects. We set our budget and we stick to it. Construction, if something happens, then you figure out a way to balance that budget.
And I think that's why voters have voted for the millages, the tax increases that we've had. We've shown them that what we needed, we could justify. And we didn't ask for administration buildings, and frankly, that's something that a lot of voters that I hear people getting pretty irate over, is deluxe corporate or company offices. So our administration has stayed in this building to the financial benefit of our citizens and our electorate.
That's correct. Yes. We were just having a discussion earlier, how valuable our schools are to the realtors when they're out there selling our city. I mean, I just...
I was
told
just
the school
congratulating
yesterday,
Hussein as a realtor because of the fact that real estate is hot in Dearborn.
Yes, it is.
Apparently,
It is.
it's sold almost immediately if it's priced right.
And usually when I get a phone call, the first question is, what's the price, square footage, and tell me about the schools, and that's usually a closing argument.
And not to poke the bear, but we take care of our buildings so that they aren't worth less than the repairs.
And we have plenty of buildings. We don't have one city hall. We have 35 buildings.
See what you started,
And
Brian?
some of our buildings.
Why did you start
Yeah, and
this,
I'm not
Brian?
even asking you to read the whole quote again, because I could probably get on some more.
I think we've made our point.
Yeah,
Like I
so-
said, I myself have heard from other council members and wanted clarifications, and that's fine. Pick up the phone and ask, and maybe, I'm sure it's just a learning curve for them. Next item, please.
Requests for information and/or future agenda items. Do we have a joint city council school board meeting?
Next item, please.
Superintendent reports, personnel commentary. Future meeting dates, Monday, July 21st, 2014, HFC meeting, 7 PM at the Andrew Mazarin Service and Conference Center in the Roseno Boardroom, Henry Ford Community College. Monday, August 18th, 2014, HFC meeting, 7 PM at the Andrew Mazarin Service and Conference Center in the Roseno Boardroom, Henry Ford College. Monday, August 25th, 2014, P12 Board of Education meeting, 7 PM at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom. Monday, September 8th, 2014, P12 meeting, Board of Education meeting, 7 PM at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom. Monday, September 15th, 2014, HFC meeting, 7 PM at the Andrew Mazzara Service and Conference Center in the Roseno Boardroom, Henry Ford College.
We are adjourned. Thank you.